All right, welcome back. This is the third installment of Discovering Foundational Truths. Again, my name is Mr. John Lemus.
Just call me Director Mula.
Mo Magaza.
Hussein Ambroa.
All right, I'm just going to go over again, what we kind of come together for. Discovering Foundational Truths is based on a premise that whatever area you suffer in is an area that you don't know God's truth about in that area. Those areas can be relationships, finances, emotions, leadership, or any other areas in your life. So the more truths from God's word you know, you'll be able to navigate and dominate this reality we call life. I'm going to get started with a question. Better isn't something you wish for. Better is something you become. So what do you think they're trying to say there? Better is not something that you wish for. Better is actually something that you become. Any clues? Could be anybody.
I mean, I think we talk about, becoming than just doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
For you to want better, you have to become better first. So it's more like you work on you first instead of wishing. That's how, I would think about it. Because if you want to be great or you want to be peaceful, you want to, think differently, you have to become that thing that you want to become first.
Okay.
And then so it becomes something that it just happens because you're being first rather than trying to wish or doing.
Okay. So if you wish for something, does that come true?
I mean,
You have to become
without
first.
if you just wish for it without no action, it's not going to come through.
Right. Yeah. That's not how you get there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people wish they could do something, but unless you understand the steps or the truths on how to get there, then you're in trouble. Like you said, you have to become that person that can do that thing.
Yeah.
And that'll get to that point. All right, next one. The best way to keep a prisoner from escaping is to make sure he never knows he's in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like the educational system.
It sounds like society now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think if we political views, in terms of the Democrats, they make it seem like when I first came to the States, the Democrats was the best, right? And I'm not saying I'm Republican or anything, I'm just me. But they say, oh, you got free this, free that, free food stamp, free this, free that. But in retrospect, they're you're in prison because all these free things that they're giving you, all these amenities that they're giving you have to come with certain things to give back, sacrifices, like your information. For example, say, and this happens in our community a lot. A lot of the, the dads or the fathers will come with 2 wives or whatever, or else they'll come with a wife that is undocumented. If the family wants food stamp, it would be well, if you want food stamp, the guy cannot be working or he cannot be in your filing system.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially destroying the home. Because now you're we'll take him out of the, out of the picture so you can get these amenities.
Okay.
I know I'm all over the place, but.
Nah, you're all right. Yeah. So basically what they're saying, though, is if you want to keep somebody in control, you have to try to hide the actual control itself.
For sure.
So, I mean, in the school system, which I am a part of, they have to control, what you do as you come out. So, like I said, that's why you got to go 12 years. A lot of places you don't have to go that long. Yeah. And it's actually mandated by the state.
Yeah.
So if you're not going, what do? They'll actually take you to court.
Courts and stuff
tell you
that.
truths and all that stuff.
That.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. The light at the end of the tunnel is not an illusion. The actual tunnel is the illusion. So think about that. The light at the end of the tunnel is not the illusion. The tunnel is.
I don't get it too much.
Yeah, that one's deep.
But I
So
don't
what
think
could
it's
what
that
could
deep,
the
though.
light be at the end of the tunnel? What's the light?
The light is where you're supposed to be.
Okay.
The ending point.
The ending point. The tunnel is supposed to teach you, or you're supposed to learn from the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the illusion is. You're not gonna get light without going through the tunnel, because you got to think about it like this: you have to clean yourself up before you can start a new foundation. It's that type of thinking you have to do. So the tunnel is, cleaning the foundation, knowing that you can survive and being able to clean to clean your what do you call it, all the bad habits, whatever you're doing. That you have to be in the dark to notice that, okay, I'm in the dark and I need to get out of this place.
Okay.
If you don't think the tunnel is bad, then you're just gonna stay in the tunnel and be happy with the tunnel, be content with the tunnel, right?
Yeah.
So you have to clean that up. You have to push through to go out and notice that there is a light after the tunnel.
Okay.
Like after you clean it up, it's gonna look clean, and you can start a whole new foundation. That's what the light is.
So the light at the end of the tunnel is not an illusion. Basically, you are that light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Everything that God wanted to tell you, He's already told your soul. Everything that you're going to need to be successful in life, you already have. But we actually think there's a way you have to get there. That's the tunnel.
Yeah.
That's more like the transport to get to that light. You're already at that light, looking the other way, not realizing or understanding that you already have what you need. So if you already have what you need and you go back in the tunnel, you just get kind of lost.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, with the foundations of truth, tries to explain is that you are already there. You're already that light at the end of the tunnel. Don't look the other way. Just keep going in what you have already. So
How do you know you're already there, though? Some people are not that self-aware.
that's what we talk. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to. It comes from your identity and everything else, and it comes from information that is written down in several different places. But most people don't know they're there. That's what I'm saying. That's what you have to know that you're there. The only way you really know that you're there is if you have an identity. So go ahead.
I think for a lot of if you really look at like a lot of the people that like actually are famous or made it through, they tell you before they actually everything started to work out, they were in the darkest places ever. That's literally a lot. For example, Kesha, when she was telling her story, she was like, I was homeless. And even like Tiffany Haddish, she was homeless for like years, sleeping in her car. But yet she knew, like, God told you everything. She knew that she had a purpose, and the light will be there because she's the light. No matter what she believed in what she was doing and didn't do anything else.
So sometimes it takes that wilderness to show you that you are the light.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to go backwards a little bit just to understand where you're at. But like I said, you're already there.
Yeah.
So we're trying to give you a little bit of a cheat code. All right, so heavy is the head that wears the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Some of these are kind of deep. I think about it. I hit the kids with them and they're like, eh. So what is it? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. First of all, who wears a crown?
King.
A king usually.
Mm-hmm.
So why could the king's head be heavy? Because he has that crown on. Why would it be heavy? Why is a king's head heavy? And why should your head be heavy? Because you're supposed to be a king. Because what do kings have that like the peasant doesn't really have?
I mean, he have power of his kingdom.
Right? There's a lot of responsibility. You know what I mean? With that power comes responsibility.
Right.
So the more you realize what you are, whose you are, that power comes with a lot of responsibility. So your head's a little bit heavier than the average person because of that crown. Okay, because you are a king, the idea is you have more responsibilities than the average person. So,
I mean, also, it's not like he was just woke up to be a king. You had to work for that title. You had to go through so much like perseverance, so much like struggles and obstacles in order to earn that crown on your head.
okay,
So,
can you earn a crown?
can you earn it?
Yeah. Think about a king.
Yeah.
How do people become king?
I mean, most of it is passed down, right?
It's all passed down.
Yeah.
I can disagree with that. I won't say most of it.
It's passed down by families.
Yeah.
Like if I am royalty, my younger person's gonna be royalty.
Mm-hmm. That's passed.
You don't just pick me to be king. I'm not talking about president.
By
That's different.
king, I'm also like equally like a president as a king too, because they have a lot of responsibility.
They might have a lot of responsibility, but they're not a king. I'm saying a king actually writes an edict, whereas our president has to get checked by the House of Representatives and by the Senate. Like I said, he doesn't have absolute power, absolute rule. Biggest thing about a king too is they own everything. You know what I'm saying? The president don't own everything. He might own a lot of stuff, because he's got inside trading, but Yeah, I'm talking about a king himself.
Yes, in this new age, yes, it's definitely majority of it is passed down. But if you're talking about like more like medieval time, it's like most of it they had to earn it. Like the Ottoman Empire, when they had their like kings and that time of that, they had to like fight for over that
sure.
throne.
I mean, the first person had to definitely, work for it. But after that,
Yeah, I'm not saying you don't work,
but
but it's not like I said. It's a right. It's not really a gift.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it too. Like,
But I'm saying you guys are supposed to be kings. That's what I'm trying to get you guys.
I
don't
understand.
I don't know anything about the Ottoman Empire. I do a little bit, but it's like that doesn't mean anything to me. I'm talking about from now on.
But you just
rights.
said you have to be passed down.
It is
it was passed down from God.
from God. I'm saying I'm a son of God, so
Yeah.
I am.
You are a king.
king's son.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you got to understand where I'm trying to get to, not argue about what other people did. I like I
No,
said,
you just gotta
history.
explain it for like
Yeah.
other people to understand it clearly. I'm
Right,
not saying it's
right.
an argument because we
Yeah.
all have different like perspective here.
Right. Okay. So one choice can change your entire day. One compromise can create a better week. One decision can change your future. So what are they trying to say?
Be aware of what you're doing.
Absolutely got to be aware of what you're doing because
It can affect everything that goes on with it.
all it takes is one. If I walk outside and I shoot somebody, my life changes.
Yeah.
Okay. If I go out and I look funny at the wrong person, my life can change.
Yeah. Depends who you look at.
That's what I'm saying. And if it's the wrong person, they could.
But I think
change.
it depends on the energy that you carry too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if you're like, sometimes
Well, I wouldn't
you
look
don't
at that
have to
person
look
like
at
that because I
anybody.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even have to look at anybody. Somebody that, if you're thinking about it, it could come to you.
Mm-hmm. That kind of leads to this next one. People don't see you through their eyes. If I'm looking at somebody, I don't see you through my eyes. They actually see you through your eyes. So you want to determine what your time is worth and value your time. So when somebody's looking at you, they don't see you how they perceive you. They actually see you how you perceive yourself. So what the heck is that?
How would they see you? How they perceive? How would they see you? How you see you?
I see you how you see yourself.
I mean, in that sense, let's say from a point of view, I just look at it like I can only treat you how you treat yourself because, depends how you respect yourself.
Mm-hmm. See, I respect myself, but
Yeah.
you don't respect yourself. But I see you not respecting yourself. How do I see
Yeah, I
you?
mean, if you're not respecting yourself, I'm not going to respect you. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
So,
I mean, to add on to that,
Go ahead.
I would say it all depends on like how you view the world yourself. If you're a positive person, you're always going to see other people as positive because you're reflecting that from you. So if I'm seeing you as a positive individual, that's because I am that positive individual. So that's like how I'm understanding.
Okay, so if I'm a positive person and I see you beating the crap out of some old lady on the corner, I'm not going to see that as a positive.
Well, you're already doing that action. I can't obviously with that action you took away that.
That doesn't take away
Viewpoint.
my positivity.
No,
saying
for
I'm-
you took that away
I'm
based
trying to
on your
explain to
action.
you how I see you through your eyes.
Yeah, if we're just sitting here looking at you right now and be like, Liam is a good person because Mo is a good person. Based on like how I see myself and how I carry myself, I'm always going to see other people the same way. Unless, they show me otherwise.
Right. When they show you otherwise, you're going to see them through their eyes.
Exactly.
Okay. So just to remember that. You don't see them through your eyes. You could be the best person in the world, but if you see someone doing something wrong, you're going to see through their eyes who they are.
Facts.
Okay. Just something to understand. And the way I want you to understand that is because you have to see yourself a certain way for other people to see, what you're supposed to see. So if I look like I'm organized, I look like I deserve to have a big bank account, then that's how it's going to be. If I look like I'm broke, if I look like I'm from the hood, I look like, if that's how I look at myself, then other people are going to see you the same way.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead. Yep.
Like, the only problem with that with me is like I set expectations.
Mm-hmm.
If I see you how I see myself, I already expected you to be like
No,
me.
you don't see me how you see yourself. I just told you see me as I see myself.
has he respect his own self?
For example, he said he's organized.
Okay.
I'm organized.
Okay.
So I'm going to expect that you're organized because I'm organized. And then you show me otherwise.
So now you're
Yeah,
setting
now you
yourself
see
up
it.
for frustration.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'm saying I don't have expectations on other people. I wait and they show me who they are, and then that's what they are.
And
When you have expectations, then they're gonna fail you. I mean, there's no one perfect. No one, gonna do everything you want them to do. So, yeah. All right. There's 4 M's you always must control as a man, as a woman, or whatever. One is your mouth, one is your mind, one is your mood, and one is your money.
All right, I respect it.
So mind, mouth, mood, money.
Yeah.
So why would you have to control those?
Guys, those are decisive things that you can that could change your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Definitely your mind. You can say something that you can't take back.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind, you can make a decision that you also can't take back. Your money, you can make a irresponsible money decision that can affect your family generationally.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the
So mind, mouth, mood, money.
your mood? You got to change your mood
Yeah.
because you don't want to be. And happiness is a choice.
It's an inside job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So money attracts the female you want, but struggle attracts the female you need.
I can respect that. I can't disagree.
I know. So the female that's around when you got the money might not be the same when it's around when you need.
And you
the
get deeper on that, the struggle part.
So struggle, anytime that you're in your mix where you're trying to get ahead in life, the person that can see that and respect your struggle and can kind of ride with you while you're struggling is the person you want to keep around. Because there's some females out there that, love the money, love the fame, love when you're on top of your game, you'll get extra females around, because they want to just hook on to what you're doing. But the ones that you really want to keep around for the duration is the one that,
Right.
would stay when you are struggling.
Facts.
So you may not know which one is the right one if you're never struggling.
That is true.
So sometimes you got to take it away just to see if they want to stay. You know what I'm saying? So say you're giving her a credit card, spend $10,000 a week or a month or whatever. All of a sudden now you're not, you're getting a little bit tighter. You pull it away, and then she's like, well, you may not be the one.
You gotta say no more often.
That's all. Yeah, yeah.
Choose wisely.
Okay, this kind of goes along with the same thing. If you spend your time chasing butterflies, they'll fly away. But if you spend your time making a beautiful garden, the butterflies will come to you.
Ooh. That's deep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
That.
yeah, when you focus on improving yourself, everything you want will come to you. Okay, we attract based on who we are, not what we want. So when you become something, that will attract what you truly want. It says don't chase, attract. Okay, same thing with money, same thing with relationships, same thing with everything in your life. You want to chase something, you want to attract to you what you want. And really, when you become something, you'll know it's real. If you attract it, then you know it's real. If you chase it, you might be faster than the other person, catch them, but that ain't real just because they're a little bit slower than you, or might be behind you financially or whatever, So this one hurts. If your friends are not discussing these things, then you need a new set of friends.
All right.
All right. Opening businesses, escaping the 9-to-5, investments in trades, workout and diet, finding the right partners, and self-development. So think about the crew that you run with. Are they talking about any of that stuff at any time? If they're not, then they might not be the person you want to take on your journey to,
But some
improve
people
yourself.
can just be talk. Some, in that sense of view.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
see
I'm saying if
somebody
you
that-
become the person who, does the workout and dieting or is opening business and stuff, that person along with you might be able to learn from you,
For sure.
But if your whole crew is about sitting around watching football,
Yeah,
about doing this, then, like I said, that might not be the crew you want to get ahead.
Oh.
That's perfect.
Okay.
That. We good. All right. King Solomon. Okay, he was a king in the Bible. I'm sure he was probably in the Quran too.
Suleiman.
Yeah, Solomon. I just said it wrong. Okay, he was the rising tide that lifted all boats.
Repeat it again.
Yeah, King Solomon was the rising tide that lifted all boats. First of all, you know what a tide is?
Yeah, it's
When the ocean kind of gets a little bit higher. Yeah, I'm saying some people don't know. Hey,
Okay.
that's what the tide is. Like when the tide comes in, then the boats can actually get closer to shore. If the tide goes out, your boat probably won't even make it into shore.
Understood.
So how can a person be the rising tide that lifts everybody around them? And how could you be that type of person?
Gotta be a leader.
Okay, being a leader definitely helps as opposed to a manager. Because you're not really looking to lift somebody as a manager, you're looking to manage them.
Yeah.
But how could you become a
motivation,
rising
leader is the same
tide?
thing. I was
I
gonna
mean,
say
they have to have a little bit of motivation.
yeah, that's the same thing as a leader though.
Leader's a little deeper than motivation, but that's all right.
If I'm going to lead, I'm going to motivate. There's no point in
Absolutely,
leading
you'll
without
motivate
motivating.
by what you do, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your question, Liam?
So my question is, how can you become the rising tide that lifts all boats?
Submerge yourself with the tide. I mean, you might get sucked in, but it depends on the individual. That's a tough question. I don't have no answer to that.
I feel like you have to show them that you can do it. You know? Then you can just like motivate them, like from a point of view, show them in a point of view that they can do it because you did it as well.
Okay.
You know, because you came from the same circumstances that they did, and you have came about that.
So being real, are you being right now the rising tide that lifts all boats? Or are you still on the area of lifting yourself first? Hang on to whatever it is so you don't sink.
I'm in the middle of both of those.
In the middle of both? Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's just something for you to think about. How can I go from lifting myself up, which a lot of people are doing right now. They're trying to, build themselves up. But you got to think, if you build yourself up and everybody else is down here, it's like, it's lonely.
Well, first of all,
want
you have to get to the mountain first before you can help the people behind, how you call it, below the mountain. You gotta go.
You got to get to the mountain.
Yeah, you gotta get to the top of the mountain first.
How you going to help if you're all the way at the
But
top?
I'm saying you have to get there. You have to get there first. It's
I'm
like
saying once you're at the top of the mountain and everybody's down here,
Now you
how
gotta-
you going to get them up
You got to
there?
come back down.
you gotta help them because you got. It's like how you gonna give something that it's not full. So it's like you have to. It's like you talking about how you gonna be able to give when your cup is not full. So you have to work on yourself first.
As you're doing it, your cup can be full and you're still not at the top of the mountain. Okay. Being full means basically you have everything you need for the area what you're at. So say I'm at the bottom of the mountain and say it takes 3 or 4 people to actually climb a mountain. One person can't go and knock all the stuff into the mountain and, be safe going up. So you need other people. But I'm saying the idea is though as you're rising up, as your cup's getting, full and it starts to overflow, you got to give to other people and then they start rising. The idea is to first know that you need a team, and then B, make sure that your mind is not just on you, because once your cup's full and once you're doing what you're supposed to do, it kind of automates, and just look around and make sure everybody else is coming with you.
Well, if you're talking about needing a team, everybody in that team knows what they're supposed to. Because at the end of the day, they have one specific goal in mind. If you like the line of work that I do, it's a collaborative field, and everybody has a part to play. And at the end, everybody's at everybody's at the best at their position.
Okay.
And yes, they can uplift other people, and that the main goal is to create something that looks good and everybody can be happy with. But what I'm saying is, for somebody who's trying to like find themselves and know who they are first,
You can't help anybody.
Yeah,
unless
you
know
can't
who
help
you are.
unless you know who
Yeah,
you
gotta
are.
know who you are first.
That's what I'm. That's all I'm
We
saying.
get your point, but
Yeah.
from my understanding, he's saying you teach as you go.
Yeah.
You learn.
You
something.
can't really teach.
Yeah.
You have to understand it first for you to teach it.
I mean, you got he's gonna learn.
But once you learn it,
first.
then you teach it right
As
away.
go.
You don't
That's
don't
what
wait
I
till you
mean.
get to the top.
yeah.
And then try to tell them,
Because
you
when
guys
you-
should be up here. It's
Because
like,
when I
well, you
look
never
at
helped
it-
me when I was going.
Being at the top is
You could be director Mullah, but if you up here and all your sound people, everything is all down here, then you don't have a real booming business.
But
you know?
being at
Get
being
people
you
mad.
getting, I think you understand it wrong. Being at
Yeah.
the top is you understanding that information. You
an
gotta
expert.
understand it. You have
But
to.
you don't have to be at the top to understand. it.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Being at the top means you basically automated everything and it's just natural. It's
Yeah.
automatic to me. That's what being at the top
Yeah.
is.
You can still help people at the top.
Yeah, yeah. It's just okay.
I mean, I want to say both ways are bad. Honestly, like I agree with his standpoint. I agree with your
Yeah.
standpoint as well. So
Well, I just understand that you have to be the rising tide that lifts everybody else up. If you want to rise up yourself, you got to bring people with you. Okay, you can't go by yourself.
would that be a lot slower then?
Absolutely. Success, if any overnight success, you're going to lose at the same quickness. You know what I'm saying? So if I get success overnight, then they can take it away overnight. If I build it over 10 years, no one can touch
I
me.
mean, you ain't getting on top of the mind overnight. That's
That's
for
what
sure.
I'm saying. So if that's your idea of success is the top of the mountain, you ain't getting there. Okay. So work as if everything depends on us, but pray and believe that everything depends on God.
Preach.
So the biggest thing about that is
Who's us again?
just anybody. I said work as if everything depends on yourself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because some people say, oh, I'm just waiting for God to bless me to do this. You know what I mean? God ain't going to do something you can do. God will do what you can't do, but he's not going to do what you're supposed to do for yourself.
Right.
You know, but it says pray, you know, as if everything depends on him, which it does, because he puts the excess on there. You know, he makes it rain. He makes everything grow. He does what he's supposed to do, but he's not going to do what you're supposed to do.
Sure.
Okay, an ounce of proof is worth 10 million pounds of promise. An ounce of proof is worth 10 million pounds of promise. So an ounce is a little bitty thing.
Yeah, I get it,
10
but
million
I
pounds
don't
is
get your
huge.
point. An ounce of
Okay, that's
It's
why I'm trying to say it.
I think it's basically the truth outweighs, you know, all the.
Okay, proof and truth,
Yeah, it's a little different.
two different things. Proof is like, I can do something.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can do it and you did it, I can have 10 million pounds of promise. So I know I could do this. I know I could. That ain't worth nothing.
So
that one
facts.
little bit of you know,
Facts.
well, facts change.
Yeah.
I'm saying you're using a couple different terms that we've actually delineated into like pretty good slots.
Yeah.
You know,
Proof is more
but
like evidence.
proof is just evidence of that it worked. That's what proof is to me. You know
So
what I
it's
mean?
just
Like,
data.
yeah, it's
Sure.
data or it's some
Well,
type
that
of
proof could. So in that case, can data change too? If you talk, if
data absolutely
you
changes.
change. Okay.
But I'm saying if I'm telling you I can make you money, but I'm broke.
Yeah.
I don't have
There's
proof.
no data. To
Yeah, there's no
back
data
it.
to back up what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But if I have an ounce of proof, I got some money, I'm in a nice car, you know, as opposed to 10 million pounds of promise, which most people do on the internet. You know, they go out and they rent a car and they park it and then they sit on it. And like I said, they do things that they're trying to kind of shuck
Get
and jive
attention.
you into whatever they're trying to sell. You know, so
Yeah, that was like the Kevin Hart and Jay-Z cousins asking for money, saying if you give me like 4,000, I can make you such and such. But they don't have the data.
There's no proof.
Yeah, I get you. I get it.
yeah, that's the idea. Okay. All right. Does your word become your flesh or do you just talk about it?
Yeah, because my word means something. It does.
Okay,
become your
so-
flesh.
Is
I
your
know me. I'm
word-
the king of that.
So your word becomes your flesh.
Yes, if I say it, I'm gonna do it. That's me.
Okay, now the next level I need you to get to is God's word your flesh. Because when God's word becomes your flesh, now you got truth backed up
Yeah.
and proof that, you're just going to be successful. Okay, your word is one thing. You might be heading in this direction. I want to get over here.
Yeah.
Like I said, the whole idea of doing this podcast is to get you to understand some of the truths. And when you stand on the truth, a lie got to go away.
Yeah.
Everything got to go. So the idea is to try and put God's word as your flesh.
Mhm.
Your word is good. I mean, that's good, but that doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
going to be as effective as God's word. Okay.
Yeah.
Respect.
All right. Getting into some of the information here. There's two kingdoms on this earth. Anybody know what the two kingdoms are?
You said on this earth.
On this earth right now, there's two kingdoms.
I don't remember
You
what
work for
mean
one
about
or
it.
you work for the other.
Oh no.
I was about to-
Sounds like hell and heaven to me.
He said
Hell or
heaven.
heaven. I feel
Heaven's
like,
not on this earth.
yeah.
Heaven
So
is
you can make it.
You can
Heaven's
make
just
it.
above this earth.
but you can make it if you want. You know what I mean? There was a dude who asked like how people talk about heaven or hell,
So you will get there.
and like you people never know because some people are living in heaven here and some people are living in hell here.
Okay, so you're explaining what's God kingdom on this earth.
Yeah. No, I'm just
Okay,
saying.
there's
I
the
was,
devil's kingdom and there's God's kingdom. Those are the two kingdoms that are on this earth
Okay.
right now.
Is it not necessarily just heaven and hell? If you fall in devil's kingdom, you're going. That's hell.
hell, yeah.
And heaven, that's God.
God, yeah.
Okay. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is where it's going to hurt. God's kingdom on this earth, his tenets or his characteristics of being in his kingdom on this earth are freedom, profits, abundance, and he wants all his children to be kings or queens on this earth. Okay, sounds good. Okay, the fake kingdom or Satan's kingdom, he actually wants everybody. He wants everybody to be a slave to either the world, the flesh, or the devil. So if you are in Satan's kingdom, your characteristics are wages, security, slavery, lack, and death. So which kingdom are you working for? So are you working for wages? Are you working for... The whole idea is you got to look at people and how they're living to see which
Yeah.
kingdom they're looking for.
feel like I'm working for both right now.
Repeat it again.
Okay,
So I
so
can pick one.
I got freedom, so I feel like I'm working for God's kingdom.
God's kingdom is freedom, profits, abundance. and he wants everybody to be kings or queens. So basically, be a champion in your own realm. Okay, the fake kingdom or Satan's kingdom, he wants everybody to be a slave to something, to wages, to
That's a
security,
job.
slavery, lack, and death.
Job.
I'm saying, okay, now we're going to get there. Okay, we must look at how people are living to see which kingdom they're actually working for. Like you said, you could be working for both.
Yeah.
But when you're working for both and you're divided, it's not good.
You ain't going nowhere.
So if you work a job, get a wage, hate your job until you die, then you're working for the fake kingdom. All right. If you are, it actually says in the Bible, you know, we're meant to create businesses and be creative because God's creative. He created everything with his word. The idea is to try and work something that doesn't have such a ceiling on it. Because when you have a job, they tell you how much you're worth. You know, they give you just enough so you come back. You know, they pay you once, you know, every 2 weeks or whatever. And they tell you when you can, you know, take days off. You know, tell you how many days you can take off. And like I said, so that's actually, some people think that's security. You know, I mean, I think it's secure because I know this is coming. But you're really only as secure as the person you're working for.
Yeah, if his business
that
is
person-
down,
Yeah, if his business is down, he might, you know, liquidate and move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the idea is to try to figure out which kingdom you're working for and understand that one leads to life and one leads to death. So, okay.
it's understandable.
What's it say? We are called to give away more value to people than we get back in exchange. So if you are working for God's kingdom, you're supposed to give away more value than what you actually get back.
Give away
Because,
more value. What?
yeah, give away more value for what you're doing for them has to be more valuable than how much they're paying you for what you're doing for them. All right. And the reason why is you actually reap what you sow. So if I put in more value, I'm going to get back more value. And you actually reap in the amount that you sow. So the more value you give them, the more you're going to get back.
I mean, who
Go
are
ahead.
you giving more to? That's where I'm confused. at.
Anybody you do business with,
Okay.
you're supposed to provide more value than what they give you in money back. And the reason why is if you do that, then there always will be an exchange and you're always going to be getting more.
But what if there's no return?
So listen, if there's no return, this is the thing. If I'm a businessman and I'm thinking, well, maybe it cost me $20 to make this, and if I give it to him for $18, I'm losing $2. But once the business starts and momentum kicks, you can actually change your price a little bit.
You could.
That thing will become more valuable,
But what if he's find somebody else, you know, that sells it
right?
already?
And he probably will.
yeah, that
But
ain't
I'm
gonna
saying,
work.
well,
Is that a good
I'm saying-
mentality though to define it as business? Like you can just keep it as a relationship. You can get value from me and give you value back, but it doesn't have to be so tangible that I have to expect something because it's a business.
Yeah. And I can agree from your point of view.
I'm saying the businesses that actually thrive don't worry as much about what they're giving because whatever they buy can be worth maybe like, I don't know, like $2 and they sell for $25.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of margin in there.
Yeah, when you got margin in the picture,
There
you
always
can
is
do
margin. If
whatever
you don't have
like.
margin, you don't have business.
Yeah, that's common.
You can't
Well,
just give stuff away. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But as far as that goes, though, like I said, you're supposed to give more value. So
Yeah.
if that thing gives them like $20 worth of value and you're selling for 18, you might think you're losing money, but you're really not because you're building value in that thing. More people use it, more people want it. Now you're going to sell it
Yeah,
for
I
more.
mean, I can agree from that point of view.
Yeah.
I look at that like as advertisement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like I said, you got a business mind
Yeah.
mentality. But I'm saying the level that you're at is the ceiling you're going to stay at until you get an idea where you have to be able to provide more value than what it costs. And once you get that mindset, then you're going to be, you know, people are going to be beating your door down to do whatever you want them to do.
Understandable.
So, all right. So I want to talk a little bit about confidence. Anybody have any idea where confidence comes from?
I mean, for me, confidence is mostly you project that from yourself. It's just more likely self-awareness, knowing who you are and what you're capable of and like what you're good at.
Uh-huh.
And that you don't even have to like actually present it. It just, you can just be you. And that indicates that confidence based on your qualities.
Okay. Confidence is belief in yourself. Okay. Think about everybody you deal with, you know, on a daily basis. How many people you think are confident out of 10 that you run into on a daily basis?
I'd say one, just
Maybe
in
one.
general.
3.
3?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you deal with a different crowd. How many you think on a daily basis you meet 10 people in your area? How many are confident?
One.
Not cocky.
One.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So 1. Understanding where confidence comes from will tell you, what the state of, the union we're in, basically, because your identity actually comes from who I am or who am I, where did I come from, why am I here, what can I do, where am I going? So we've talked about that before. If you truly don't know the answers to those questions, which you'll run into, 10 out of 10 adults might not know because they never thought about it. Because your business stuff, everything will come as the more knowledge you get, but underlying that is going to be whether you're confident to be able to present that to somebody else. So you got to remember that the truth is something that never changes, and the facts will change all the time. So if you get some truths inside you, like if you know you're a king, it's like you'll walk like a king. If you think, you're just a product of your environment, you'll act like a product of your environment. So yeah, that's where confidence comes from. Now, you guys remember what LIE stands for?
You said lie?
LIE, L-I-E. What's that? That's an acronym for
Limited. Ideas
entertained. Okay, so difference between a truth and a lie. Truth is backed up with some kind of thing coming out of God's word. And a lie is something that you could have a lie that's almost true, because you got a lot of evidence coming from where, God's talking about, but it only takes one little, discrepancy. Like I said, it can't change. So if you treat a lie like a truth, it'll actually behave like a truth for you in your life. That's what hurts. You could know almost 100% what you're supposed to be doing, but that 1%, if you're not really sure, if it's not a truth, then like I said, that lie could actually haunt you your whole life.
Take over.
Yeah, because actually the person that almost knows the truth is the most dangerous trying to argue with. You know what I mean? Because they really will go to bat with what they think is true, not really realizing that just one little thing makes a difference, okay? So it takes courage to have confidence. Confidence actually comes from like affirmations of what God says about you. We talked about that last week a little bit. You're supposed to be the head, not the tail. You're supposed to be the lender, not the borrower. Like I said, his people are supposed to be set apart from, the devil's people. Okay, so you must feed yourself or plant seeds, only things which create confidence. So give me an idea what you could plant in your mind that would create more confidence in your mind. Think about it. What could you think about that would give you more confidence?
Knowledge. Confidence of what?
Anything. I don't care what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I believe this is what I was born to do.
Okay, so what you're doing, you honestly believe that you're born to do it.
Yeah,
so
this
that
is
creates
I
confidence.
am in my element.
Yeah. What makes it seem like that's what you're born to do? Just to help everybody else.
It just makes, when I'm there, it just makes me happy.
Okay.
I'm just, I don't know. I just bask in the atmosphere. I don't think about nothing else. Nothing else distracts me.
Okay.
You gotta ask these guys.
Yeah. What do you think? What makes you confident in what you do?
Me is just being self-aware of what I lack and knowing, like, doing something about it, like seeking
Your mind's
knowledge.
on lack.
Like, to build that confidence is I ask myself, what is my weakness? What are my stuff that I'm not good at? And then I work on trying to work on those areas so I can build that confidence.
Okay. So that's a lot of
Building.
a lot of work and a lot of building and not realizing it's already there. And
100% agree from my point of view.
you're starting from the halfway point. Okay, what gives you confidence in what you do?
In my sense, I haven't focused on something. That's where I haven't focused on something that I really, really want to do. So,
Okay.
from a confidence point of view,
You seem confident to me, though. That confidence you have comes from somewhere.
yeah, I mean, because I know I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, I
that's-
mean,
it's
maybe
called
experiences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from my point
It's
of view.
believing in yourself. That's
Yeah,
what
but I
it
know
is.
I can do it. But if you're talking like,
Yeah, you haven't found what you want to do yet. but
once I find what I do, I can be confident doing that.
Right, but
Right
you're
now,
gonna-
I'm just
You're going to
going.
take those skills you have now, though, and put it towards
Yeah.
whatever you choose.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Which is good, So the idea is, like I said, you can focus on what you want to focus on. So if you want to focus on not realizing that you know everything and knowing that you have to study more, this and that, then you're focusing on lack. So which kingdom are you working for?
Oh, I ain't lying.
That's the devil. That's the
Yeah.
devil's kingdom. So I'm telling you, if
sure.
you understand that you have enough and everything that you want to is coming to you anyways, like you have no, like I said, it's just a mindset.
Yeah.
And that's all the difference between a kingdom of God and a kingdom of the
Yeah, it's
world
like-
is a mindset.
Yeah, like it's like building my team realistically. I'm just You're trying to build my team so I can do
Okay.
what I need to do.
Yeah. So we must change our mental diet. What is your mental diet?
What you take in.
What you take in. So
Yeah,
what are
like-
you taking in?
In terms of, I usually just a lot of, positive. So, and because that kind of just helped me through the day, just being positive. And I also export positivity as well.
Okay.
So that's what I'm working on, just positive mindset, just everything. Try to see the positive in everything, and also learning to, just being able to learn new things and being able to listen more. And I give everybody a chance, and just
So when you give everybody a chance, what are you really doing?
no, I'm talking about in terms of what they have to say
Right.
and just listening.
But I'm saying when
Always
you
a lot of
when you
time.
do that, you're actually giving yourself a chance.
Yeah,
I'm saying you don't do anything for anybody but yourself.
So, yeah.
It's weird. Just like for me to come here and talk to you guys, as much as I like to say, oh, it's for you guys to get better.
It's for you.
It's really for me.
Yeah.
Like I said, you don't do anything for anybody else. Even though you think you're helping and you're doing, you're actually doing it for yourself, just realizing you have enough, you are enough,
Sometimes you're like, I'm pregnant. I'm trying to get this.
You ain't lying. I can't keep chewing on this stuff and thinking I can't get rid of it. You
Yeah.
know. So, all right. So, what about your mental diet, my brother?
Me is it all comes down to self development, like spiritual growth, and like just myself working towards.
So,
that.
what are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah, are you doing anything for that?
Yeah, I'm.
Because that's actually 80%. 20% is your skills that you have in whatever you're trying to do. 80% is your spiritual development. That's how 100% of success comes together. So if you think about it, you might find somebody that's really skilled at something, but if you can't get along with people, you can't talk to people, can't communicate what you're trying to do, that's a spiritual component. You're not going to be successful. All right. So that what I'm talking about is really important, because I could teach you how to do something, but that's only 20% of being successful.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But what we're talking about is the 80%. But go ahead. So what are you actually doing? Like, do you listen to podcasts? You read books? You
Yes, I do all of that. I would say most of these are reading for me and actually
Okay.
practicing what I read as well.
okay? That's good. So are you doing anything to develop your?
Oh yeah. Most of what I usually do is just most likely listen to people that's already experienced it before.
Mhm.
So I mean, there's some people that from my point of view, they wonder why do I surround myself around older people because they already experienced it and they've been through it. Because when they was experiencing when they was experiencing it, I was not even born. So
Right.
they seen it before I did. So.
So you don't have to read books. You don't have to do, podcasts. Like I said, there's different ways to get where you're trying to go. And like you said, that's an important way because for an old person to be able to give out what he has, he's going to feel more fulfilled himself because he's able to provide that. Okay. So how far you go and how much you grow is determined by what you believe about God and what you believe about yourself. We went over last week what God believes about us,
For sure.
but God can't make us believe what he believes.
Oh, you got your
He gave us
own
free
way
will.
of doing it. Yeah.
Okay. So we have to actually, like I said, the closer your thoughts are to what God's thoughts are, the better chance you got of becoming totally what you're supposed to be.
For sure.
So you'll get there if, like I said, you start losing some of your own ideas and putting his in there. Okay, your courage will lead to your confidence, and only God can give you courage. Okay, we can't let our courage come from other factors, which we do most of the time, from our job, from our wife, our title. Like at school at Arsenal, when I'm sitting there doing stuff, I don't need to be the vice principal. I don't need to be the principal. I don't need to be anything except what I do. And I'm able to do what I do a lot of times because I don't have that title. Sometimes with titles comes limitations and, more eyes on you, more, stuff you got to do. So most people in this world, which is Satan's world, was looking for titles, is looking for this and thinking they're just going to get something for free. Whereas I look at it as I already have it. I don't need that title to tell me I have it. And I just do it.
Exactly.
So that's where your mind's got to be. So not having confidence shows itself as avoidance, procrastination, codependency, people-pleasing, discouragement, and a hard time making decisions. Okay, if you see somebody that is having a hard time making decisions or is always trying to, get validation from somebody else, that just means that they don't have that confidence. So if they don't have that confidence, what's that mean about their identity? Any idea? Trying to lop it all together.
If they don't have confidence, what they
Yeah.
mean about their identity.
How's identity hooked to your
Lack of self-belief.
right?
Yeah.
So the
I
idea,
can't agree with that fully, honestly.
no,
I mean, just based on your statement. I mean, if you asking, just like he said, he asked other like older gentlemen, older people who went through that wisdom, and he's not just asking for validation; he's asking for advice.
right?
Isn't that saying the same thing? And the
Yeah.
fact is that saying he doesn't.
What's that
have
have to do with his
confidence?
identity?
Yeah,
No.
from my sense, even if they give me, tell me something, that doesn't mean I follow what they told me.
Right.
I put common sense to it and do see what's best.
And then that means you just take him out all the way. Then
What do you mean take them out?
like you don't even need it. So why even go out your way to ask?
What do you mean I don't need it? I have, like, from a point of view, say from like me and you're giving me advice, but everything that you saying to me might not be 100% true to me. It might be 100% true to
The
you.
fact that you seeked, you're already doubting yourself.
No, there's no doubting. You're not understanding.
He's just trying to take a level quicker. That's all.
Yeah.
He could learn it all on his own.
Yeah.
Or he could ask somebody a question that would prompt,
Yeah.
him just recognize that he already knows the answer.
No, I agree with the
Yeah.
method. I'm just
Yeah.
not agreeing with the statement.
The statement meaning that your identity is not connected to your confidence.
No, the fact that if I seek for advice,
Right.
technically I'm not confident. That's what
I
you're
didn't
saying.
say that.
No, that's not.
I mean,
Maybe you caught it wrong. Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah, that
Can
don't
you
mean
go
that you're
over
not
it one
confident.
more time?
I'm just talking about as far as your courage leads your confidence. No person, job, or title can lead you to courage. Your confidence actually comes from within yourself. So the idea is, if you don't have an identity, you're not going to be confident.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to be second guessing yourself all the time.
Yeah,
So once you have your identity, then your confidence will actually be able to shine.
I understand.
All right, so that was what I was
agree
talking
with
about. I
that.
don't know. Yeah. Okay, so you must pull weeds everything that creates doubt. It may be your friends, behaviors, habits, social media, past failures. We talked last week about planting seeds and pulling weeds.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is, if you allow something to grow inside of your soul or your heart or whatever, and it's doubtful, it's like I wasn't able to do it back then. And if you remember that, it might stop you from doing it now. So you definitely want to try and pull that weed. We actually talk about seasons a little bit too. Certain seasons may not require elimination of all things, but it does require limitation to preserve your confidence. So you may be hanging out with a bunch of people, and for the time being, it was a great time. You're maybe watching football, doing this and that. But now, if you're on your grind trying to build something, those same people, I'm not saying you got to get rid of them, but sometimes you have to limit your exposure to them or limit the time that you spend with them. That way that you can get on your grind and keep moving. So if you're feeding and you're filtering, you will have confidence. So even if you had good identity, if your confidence is getting low, you got to feed your mind confident things. And you have to filter out the negative things. So when you're feeding and filtering, your confidence will build. It's just like a cheat. Because if you want to live like no one else, you must live like no one else.
Yeah, people will think that you're crazy, but you still gotta
I'm
do
saying
what
the
you
people that you actually say, oh, there's something wrong with that dude. He may be on his grind.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, he can't take everybody with him when he's at that point.
gotta- Definitely.
That's what I was saying, talking about the mountain.
Yeah, if you
Can't
don't get
take-
to the
yeah.
top and then try to help somebody out. I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
at the beginning, you might have to be the first one to get up that. You might send you because you can climb like a
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah.
I'm saying send you to get that
Oh,
first
shit.
plank.
That's
get in
what
the
I was-
side of the mountain.
that's what I was
That's
trying
I'm
to
saying.
say.
You don't want to send me. You know what I'm saying? I'll be there scraping the bottom of the mountain. If I get me a rope, maybe I got a chance. So yeah. All right. So from last week, we did talk about seasons. I was going to talk a little bit more about seasons. We talked about the fall, winter, spring, and the summer. Our life is lived in seasons, but it's actually lived on levels. Okay, you got to understand that seasons will come and go with time, and we can't force it. If you think about it, winter's coming. Okay, I don't care unless you move to Florida. I'm saying you're definitely not going to change the winter here in Pittsburgh.
Am I?
All right. So some seasons can be uncomfortable, but they are definitely inevitable. Okay. It says in the Bible, I'm sure it probably says in Quran too, that as long as the earth is here, you're going to have night and day. You're going to have, cold and hot. You're going to have all these, dichotomies. Good example is if you keep living, you're going to get older.
Oh, that's common
I'm
sense.
saying you have no choice. That season is gonna happen
Physically older.
physically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can't control our seasons, but we can determine our levels. Okay, our levels basically meaning our spiritual growth, our personal growth, development, and achievement. Okay, during a season, if you remember about fall, they say that's, like a building season or plowing season. Basically, if you plow the dirt around your heart and you plant good seeds, eventually, like I said, your heart's going to change into that next season. You can go into winter season and still be happy. Even though winter seasons, kind of symbolized with death. You got to kind of kill some things to make yourself better when you come out there on the other side. So I told you, I was talking about this. If you're talking about business, 20% of what you do is going to be technical, and then 80% is going to be more about, how you deal with people, how you look at situations, how you, I guess, allow it to affect you, that kind of stuff. So your state and your cycle will actually last as long as we determine. Think about, like, if I want to be happy and I think of happy things and, I do some stuff to make me happy, I can be happy for a little while. If I keep doing those things, I can keep that going for a while, but eventually it's going to stop. Seasons change with time we don't control. So biggest thing about, like I said, the spiritual growth thing is like how you're actually looking at things. I told you, I tell the kids all the time, if I say something about you, that's really about me. If you think it's about me, then it doesn't really bother you. But like I said, that spiritual intelligence is actually pretty big. All right. So it's actually time for a new level for all of us. And to get on that next level, you got to understand that frustration, anything that frustrates you, is an indication that an adjustment needs to happen. Okay, you can't look at frustration as a bad thing. Frustration is it's actually an education saying it's time to move. If you think about it, if you're under a certain circumstance, you got to draw a circle when you're standing there. That's a circumstance. The only thing you can do is you can move out of there.
Like that.
You don't have to be in that circle. You can choose to move. We're not trees. We don't grow roots.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Trees can't just relocate.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want. So the idea is, when frustration is an indication adjustment needs to be made, frustration is the education that we need to raise up a level or elevate our thinking. Okay, the way you better yourself is the way you think. It's not the way you do things. Okay, if you change the way you think, then what you do will change. Okay, you got to understand
100%.
that level. Okay, the devil wants your frustration to infect your determination, so you end up suffering with stagnation. Okay, so that the idea is,
We're preaching today.
yeah, the way the devil works. Yeah, the way the devil works is he wants to infect your determination. If he infects your determination, then you're stuck in the circumstance. You're not moving. Okay, but if you're thinking correctly, you can just move out of the way,
For sure.
and that circumstance changes. Okay, so the trick is to give the devil agitation by giving God appreciation for your elevation that you have not experienced yet. Okay, that's sort of like manifesting. Okay, you have to think it's going to happen first before it actually happens. So if you give God, appreciation for, you elevating and understanding a situation, then whatever information is coming is going to elevate you. And that will give the devil the frustration. And right now, God's trying to give you an appetite for a new level when you fall into this frustration. You can't, like I said, you can't let it infect your determination. If you let it infect your determination, you're going to be stuck on that circumstance for a long time. So, give you an example. The things that you used to be satisfied with, you're not satisfied anymore, and you have a hunger for more.
Yeah, you grew up.
I'll definitely add some saying. Sometimes it's age, sometimes it's maturity. Doesn't matter what makes it happen, but God is the one that's actually putting that in you. He's actually telling you that this level is not good enough. Because what we think is success, God thinks is disappointment.
Right.
Because he knows where we could go. We think, we just made a big jump. But he's like, that ain't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
A lot more for you.
Yeah. So we're talking about spiritual growth. That's what we're talking about with truth. Okay, spiritual growth isn't just the accumulation of information, but you have to be able to apply that information that would lead to formation. Okay, that's the mind getting in alignment with God's ideas. When your mind gets in line with God's ideas, you're actually forming a new mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we talked about, talking about renewing your mind. Your mind, like I said, your mind is part of your soul, because it's a mind, free will, and emotions. So your mind's only as big as basically your experiences, as big as, how you grew up, that kind of stuff. But you can form that, when you have higher expectations on yourself. And yes, you can have expectations for yourself. You can't expect stuff from other people, because I can't control other people. I can control what I do.
For sure.
If I expect myself to get smarter, I can read a book. If I expect you to get smarter, it's like you might not want a book. I mean, that's the idea.
You don't even want a book.
Okay, so that's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Get in the field. Like that action.
I didn't finish a whole book till I was probably 30 something. Yeah, it's like when I went through college and everything else.
There's many ways to, get smarter.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to know how to sleep in a storm, bounce back from betrayal, resist temptation, and carry out your purpose, God showed us how to do that in the Bible. Okay, he actually showed us, by different, experiences in there, how to do that. And we're not really supposed to just admire the person who did it. We're supposed to actually want to be that person that can do it. The whole idea of the Bible is it's a full bunch of stories, and so is the Quran, full bunch of stories about what happened in the past. We're supposed to learn from it. It's a good life book, but we're supposed to take from that and actually understand we could do that and more. Okay, that's the idea. So in the Bible, I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think, it might not be in the Quran because it's a Jesus story. Well, you guys saw him perform miracles and stuff too, but God showed us that God could actually, or Jesus could walk on water. And then Peter said, come on out the boat. Peter asked, could he come out of the boat? He said, yeah, come on out. And then when he first kept his eyes on Jesus, he was fine. He walking on the water. And then he looked at the storm. He looked at the wind. And when he took his mind off that, he started to drown. But Jesus picked him up. That story, though, is supposed to show us we can actually walk on what other people drowned in, metaphorically. Okay, so the idea is you still got to take the information that's in there, but you got to apply it the way, it should be applied.
That's the same thing as one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah. And they showed us that, on video, because they're there looking for stuff and they find stuff that's worth $10,000, $20,000 and you're throwing it away.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all in how you see something and how you understand value in things. So, and right now I'm walking on stuff that I used to be buried in. There's certain things, like when I first started teaching, I used to think I could control everybody. I have to sit down, be quiet. Yeah, it's like physically trying to control other human beings.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Once you get your mind right, you understand, you give them a little bit of space. Now, it doesn't matter where they go to any other situation, they can control themselves. That's what they're supposed to do. I'm not supposed to control you. You're supposed to control yourself. All right. So, and also, like, I used to be in situations that used to affect me for a long time. Like, it's like I say something off color or whatever, and I get mad at myself. Now it's like things don't even bother me because I don't say those things anymore. I don't think I have to be, strong, or think I have to be in control. So the idea is you don't want to just stop bad things from affecting me. You want to actually form to what, like I said, God's word says about you. If you do that, then, you can't really argue truth. If you try to argue truth, it's like there's no words for it. Okay, so for God to elevate me, he had to expose me to deficiencies of my old ways. And the biggest thing is I can't be offended by it. So if I want to hold on to a lie, God will allow you to hold on to a lie. He'll say, don't go to that party. Don't drink that alcohol. Don't do this, don't do that. He'll say about 3 or 4 times. You keep doing it. Now you can't hear his voice anymore. Now you in it, because that's what you chose. I don't even know what that is.
It's your alarm.
Yeah,
for what,
timer.
though? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, for the hour.
Yeah.
You send your hour.
Okay, so so once he exposes you to whatever you're not supposed to do, and eventually you keep doing it, he's just going to let you do it. Basically, we're selling for something we don't even really know it. We're selling for being mediocre, being average. There's people in this world that don't, and we really don't have the appetite for the next level because we've never seen it. Now, if you're born into a family that's all they do, they own a business and they run, a multi-million-dollar company, that's what your appetite is.
Yeah.
Is it fair or not fair? It doesn't matter. I'm just saying you have to get to the point where you can give yourself that. And you have to start somewhere where you can give your next of kin that.
Yeah.
All right, so just because you're not experiencing the new level of reality doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist for you right now. So it is there. There's, like I said before, all the money on earth never left. All the money's here.
They keep printing more.
They keep printing more. I know with that. I did hear this. Like when dollar bills and stuff get real bad and real tangly, they take it and they burn it, but Beyond that, they just keep printing. Like you said, there's probably more printed now than there ever was. All right.
It's just a thought. It's not
Okay,
even
last
money.
thing I'm gonna go over here. You have to love God more than you love your beliefs.
Bro, what?
Your beliefs.
Beliefs.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because your
You said it
beliefs.
funny.
Did I?
Belief.
Beliefs.
Yeah.
I might- well,
Can you repeat it, please?
I've been talking a long time. You must love God more than your beliefs.
Yeah.
Okay? Because when we love our beliefs more than we love our God, we're actually going to change our God to fit our beliefs.
That's crazy.
Okay? And that's, I'm telling you, everything's in your mind. Your mind is, incredible.
Can you define beliefs?
What do you believe in?
Yeah.
I want you to define it for me because
What do I
wanna
believe
be
in?
Confused. No, just
Define
on your
the meaning
statement,
of
define belief for me so I can understand you better.
Okay.
Because we might have a different,
Definition.
definition for belief.
So just think about your subconscious mind has all your beliefs, your character, all that stuff is in there.
Mhm.
So what it is, it's a lens you see the world through. So if I believe that God could do anything, that's the kind of God I get.
Mhm.
If I believe God is limited and he cannot help me, I can't get out of poverty, that's the belief that I'm going to actually get. So like I said, it depends on how you look at things or how your lens is how your beliefs are. And it could be about anything. I could believe that my wife never loved me in the first place. She just wants my money. Like I said, you can make a belief up all you want,
Yeah.
but you got to love God more than you love your beliefs. That way, when you hear God's word, you can replace that in for your beliefs. If you replace it in for your beliefs, you can't go wrong because he's the one that made us. He knows how we tick, and actually we're part of him, so that's the idea.
That's why you're a king.
Yeah, that's why you are a king, because you came out of the king.
That's why it was passed down to you.
Yeah. So that I'm saying, if you actually believe that, you're going to act that way.
Yeah. I'm just
So-
trying to tie it back to
Absolutely.
for him.
Yeah. It's like I said, there's certain things here that will tie,
I'm still confused.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
hmm
I must love God more than my beliefs.
Correct.
God is my belief.
Okay.
So how can I love something that I already...
Okay. So if God is your belief, how do you know God?
How do I know God?
Yeah.
Just me being here. It's like I'm in God essence. Like that just makes me...
Okay. You're a God essence. Okay. Because you're made in the image and the likeness of God.
Yes.
So that's a belief. Where did you get that from?
Where did I get that from?
Yeah.
From God. I mean,
Did he
if
tell-
I'm already there,
You
like
say, Mo, you're out of me.
I mean, from thoughts. Like we all get thoughts.
Okay.
God,
God
that
does
could
speak
be
to
a
us
way
through
of God
thoughts.
connecting,
So what's the
communicating with you.
easiest way to understand who God is, how he is? What's the easiest way to do that?
The easiest way,
Yeah. He gave you a document.
faith. I'll say faith.
Faith
The
comes
Quran.
from God. It's the
Quran.
Quran.
Yeah,
I'm
the
saying
Quran.
Quran tells you who God is, what he expects, what your belief should be. That's where you get it from.
That's religion.
No,
No, the
religion's a
Quran.
little different. Quran, like I said, you could take that book Quran and have 10 different sects of
Religions,
whatever
yeah.
the religion.
That's why you have the
Yeah,
Sunnis
you're right.
and
Same thing.
Shias
Same
and
thing
all
with
that.
Christianity.
No,
You
you're
could
right.
have-
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to mess up religion with your beliefs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying the idea
No, I don't
is,
condone it.
right. Well, my thing is how I know God is through His Word, and through my heart and soul. And when He speaks to me, like you said, He speaks to me too. He doesn't like verbally talk to me, but I mean, He makes you feel a certain way about a situation. Like I said, your soul. So where I was going with it though, if you love God more than your beliefs, you're going to surrender your beliefs about what God says about that situation. That's the truth. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. There are truths out there that comes from God's word that if you believe them, you're going to be able to, you're called to dominate everything on this earth except other people. Like I said, when I try and dominate a child as a teacher, it don't feel right because I'm not supposed to. You know what I'm saying? That person is supposed to be able to control himself. We were really never meant to have, governments and laws and all that stuff was supposed to be written on our heart when we got here. But
And not
obviously the
feeling
devil,
right. It's intuition itself. That's God communicating to you.
yeah. But your intuition could be wrong because you could be of the
Right.
devil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Devil can communicate the same way God does.
Then you like
I'm
believe.
almost done here.
Yep.
So just an example, in order for your God to take your prayer life to the next level, He has to expose you to the deficiencies of your current level. You have to let Him know, if you love Him more than your beliefs. So you actually surrender your belief at what He's thinking. You can't be offended by the exposure. If you're offended, then God's going to say, well, this is all the farther I can take you. You have that choice. You have that thing. So we need to choose which kingdom we want to work for. We have to operate in confidence by understanding that through the seasons of life, we need to elevate our level to transform our minds to see life as God wishes for us to see it. We're supposed to see through his eyes. The way you can do that is through his word. So that is all I have.
All right.
So,